Down one. All right, let's dive a little deeper into this 1980s Chevrolet Corvette, shall we? First off, can we talk about the fact that this car has only had one owner since it was first driven off the lot? That's right, the current owners purchased it directly from the original owner in Phoenix back in 2018. And while it may have sat for a bit due to the original owner's lack of use, that just means it's been waiting for the right person to come along and give it the love and attention it deserves. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the engine? 1980 was a tough year for Corvette performance, and you're not wrong. But that's where the current owners really stepped up to the plate. They knew this car had potential, so they went ahead and had a new Edelbrock top end, carburetor, Hedman headers, and custom exhaust, professionally installed. So not only does this car look like $1 million, but it's got the power to back it up. But let's talk about the little things that make this car so special. The mirrored glass and fiberglass tops, those are the kind of details that set this Corvette apart from the rest. And the fact that it comes with padded covers for both sets just shows how much the owners care about keeping this car in tip-top shape. And speaking of attention to detail, can we talk about the interior? Sure, it may have a bit of fading here and there, but overall, it's in fantastic condition. You can tell the owners have taken great care to preserve the original look and feel of this classic ride. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about the paint job? You said it's seen some sun damage, and you're right, I did. But honestly, that just adds to the character of this car. It's a reminder of all the sunny days it's spent cruising down the highway, turning heads and making memories. And let's be real, a little sun damage is a small price to pay for a car with this much personality. So if you're looking for a classic Corvette that's got a whole lot of heart and a story to tell, this 1980 beauty is the one for you. With its low mileage, updated performance, and one-of-a-kind style, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. So what are you waiting for? Give the owners a call and make this car yours today. 2. We've got a real gem for you. A 1982 Buick Riviera that's sure to make your heart skip a beat. This classic beauty is up for grabs on Craigslist, and the best part? The price has just been reduced to $1,350. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A Buick Riviera? Isn't that just a fancy boat on wheels? But let me tell you, this car is so much more than that. First of all, can we talk about those low original miles? With only 36,250 miles on the odometer, this car has barely been broken in. It's like finding a time capsule on wheels. But the real magic of this Riviera lies in all the upgrades and improvements the current owner has made. They've gone above and beyond to make sure this car is in top shape, inside and out. We're talking a new top, bumper fillers, AC compressor, brakes, air shocks, roof hydraulic cylinders, boot, radio, and even an electric antenna. And if that wasn't enough, they've even replaced the transducer. I mean, come on, how many classic cars can boast a new transducer? But let's talk about how this car drives. The owner says it doesn't use or leak oil, which is a testament to how well it's been maintained. And with good tires and a great undercarriage, you can bet this Riviera rides like a dream. The owner even goes so far as to say it's great fun to drive, and I believe them. Now, I know some of you might be a little worried about the interior. The owner does mention that the leather is cracked, but there are no rips. And honestly, a little cracking just adds to the character of this classic ride. It's a reminder of all the sunny days and good times this car has seen over the years. But the real selling point of this Riviera? It's a convertible. Imagine cruising down the highway with the top down, the wind in your hair, and the sun on your face. It's the kind of feeling that never gets old, no matter how many times you experience it. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, substance, and a whole lot of heart, this 1982 Buick Riviera is the one for you. With its low mileage, recent upgrades, and drop-top fun, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. And at just $13,250, it's a steal of a deal. So what are you waiting for? Give the owner a call and make this Riviera yours today. 3. Feast your eyes on this stunning 1971 Cadillac Cala that's just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary Caddy. It's a true time capsule on wheels. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer size of this beast? The Cala was Cadillac's entry-level model back in '71, but there's nothing entry-level about its presence on the road. This hardtop coupe commands attention with its sleek lines and massive 472 cubic inch V8 engine under the hood. But what really sets this Cala apart is its incredible condition. The seller claims it's all original with only 75,000 miles on the odometer. And based on the pictures, I'm inclined to believe them. The green paint job looks absolutely stunning, and the chrome trim is so shiny you could use it as a mirror. It's clear that this car has been loved and cherished by its previous owners. But this Cala isn't just a pretty face. It's got the brains to match. The seller mentions that it's been recently fitted with new brakes, a new transmission, and new tires, so you can rest assured that it's ready to hit the road at a moment's notice. And with power windows and dual exhaust, it's got all the creature comforts and performance upgrades you could want in a classic ride. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the gas mileage? Isn't a big old Caddy like this going to cost me an arm and a leg at the pump? And yeah, you're probably right. But let's be real, if you're in the market for a classic car, you're not exactly prioritizing fuel efficiency. You're looking for style, power, and a whole lot of personality. And this Cala delivers on all fronts. So if you're ready to turn heads and make a statement wherever you go, this 1971 Cadillac Cala is the car for you. With its incredible condition, recent upgrades, and timeless style, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. And at just $13,900, it's a steal of a deal for a piece of automotive history like this. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a test drive today. Trust me, once you hear that big block V8 roar to life and feel the smooth ride of that new transmission, you'll be hooked. So what are you waiting for? Make this Cadillac Cala yours today and start living your classic car dreams. 4. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1967 Mercury Cougar that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary Cougar. It's a true diamond in the rough that's just waiting for the right person to come along and give it the love and attention it deserves. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer coolness factor of this car? The Cougar was Mercury's answer to the Mustang back in the day, and it's got all the style and swagger you could want in a classic muscle car. From the hidden headlamps to the sequential turn signals to the electric shaver grille design, this car is dripping with 60s cool. But what really sets this Cougar apart is the love and care that's gone into it over the years. The seller has maintained possession of this beauty for a full decade, consistently storing it in an enclosed garage to keep it safe from the elements. And during that time, they've done some serious work to bring this car back to its former glory. The electrical system has been completely rewired by an expert, incorporating an updated dash cluster that looks absolutely stunning. And speaking of updates, the headlights have been upgraded and are functioning flawlessly, so you can cruise down the road with confidence even on the darkest of nights. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the bodywork and paint? Is this car ready to hit the road right away? And the answer is no, not quite. The seller openly admits that the car still needs some bodywork and a fresh coat of paint to really make it shine. But here's the thing, with all the work that's already been done, you're already way ahead of the game. This is a project car that's almost done, and with a little bit of elbow grease and some TLC, you'll have a fantastic classic on your hands. And let's talk about the specs for a second. This Cougar is packing a 289 cubic inch V8 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor, which means it's got plenty of power to get your heart racing. It's also got a 3-speed automatic transmission, so you can cruise down the highway in style without having to worry about shifting gears. Inside, you'll find standard bucket seats with fabric upholstery that look great and are comfortable to boot. And if you're a stickler for originality, you'll be happy to know that all the original parts that were replaced or removed are included with the car, including the original steering wheel. That's a huge bonus for anyone looking to restore this car to its original glory. So if you're in the market for a classic muscle car that's got tons of potential and a whole lot of heart, this 1967 Mercury Cougar is the one for you. With its cool factor, recent upgrades, and solid bones, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. And at just $12,000, it's a steal of a deal for a piece of automotive history like this. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a test drive today. Trust me, once you see this car in person and hear that V8 roar to life, you'll be hooked. So what are you waiting for? Make this Mercury Cougar yours today and start living your classic car dreams. 5. Get ready to feast your eyes on this stunning 1971 Cadillac El Dorado that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary Caddy. It's a true time capsule on wheels that's been cherished and maintained to perfection. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer grandeur of this car? The El Dorado was the epitome of luxury and style back in the 70s, and this one is no exception. With its sleek white paint job and classic lines, this car is a true head-turner that commands attention wherever it goes. But what really sets this El Dorado apart is its incredibly low mileage. With only 30,000 original miles on the odometer, this car is practically brand new. It's clear that the previous owner took great care of this beauty, treating it like the precious gem that it is. And speaking of the previous owner, it sounds like they're moving out of state and simply can't take this car with them. That means their loss is your gain. You could be the lucky new owner of this incredible piece of automotive history. But let's talk about the specs for a second. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that purrs like a kitten and roars like a lion. And with a smooth-as-butter automatic transmission and front-wheel drive, this car is an absolute dream to drive. You'll feel like royalty as you glide down the highway in this luxurious land yacht. Inside, you'll find a cabin that's just as impressive as the exterior. The seats are plush and comfortable, and the dashboard is a work of art with its classic gauges and controls. And with all the modern conveniences like power windows and air conditioning, you'll be riding in style and comfort no matter where you go. But perhaps the best part of all? This car is ready to hit the road right now. The tags are up to date, and there's no need for a smog check. Plus, the seller has the title in hand, so you can drive off into the sunset as soon as you hand over the cash. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the price? Surely a car this incredible must cost a fortune. And while $15,000 is certainly not chump change, let me tell you, it's an absolute bargain for a car of this caliber. You'd be hard-pressed to find another El Dorado in this condition with this low of mileage for anywhere near this price. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, luxury, and a whole lot of heart, this 1971 Cadillac El Dorado is the one for you. With its incredible condition, low mileage, and ready-to-drive status, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. And at just $15,000, it's a steal of a deal that you simply can't pass up. 6. We've got a real treat for you. A 1979 Cadillac DeVille that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. This classic beauty is up for grabs on Craigslist for just $15,000, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A '79 DeVille? Isn't that just a big boxy land yacht? And yeah, you're not wrong. But that's exactly what makes this car so cool. It's a true classic, with all the style and presence that you'd expect from a Cadillac of this era. First of all, let's talk about the condition of this car. The seller describes it as good, and based on the pictures, I'm inclined to agree. The paint looks clean and shiny, and the body appears to be straight and free of any major dents or dings. It's clear that someone has taken good care of this car over the years. But what really caught my eye are the new rims and tires. They give this DeVille a fresh, modern look while still staying true to its classic roots. And speaking of modern, the seller also mentions that the car is running well, which is always a plus when you're dealing with a classic ride. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's sure to get your heart racing. And with rear-wheel drive, you'll feel like the king of the road as you cruise down the highway. Plus, with an automatic transmission, you can sit back and enjoy the ride without having to worry about shifting gears. Inside, you'll find a spacious and comfortable interior that's perfect for long road trips or just cruising around town. The seats are plush and inviting, and there's plenty of room for you and your passengers to stretch out and relax. And with only 43,000 miles on the odometer, this car has plenty of life left in it. Now I know that $15,000 might seem like a lot of money for a classic car, but when you consider the condition of this DeVille, the new rims and tires, and the low mileage, it's actually a pretty solid deal. Plus, with a clean title, you can be sure that you're getting a car with no hidden surprises. Of course, as with any classic car, there may be some minor issues that need to be addressed. The seller doesn't mention anything specific, but it's always a good idea to have a trusted mechanic take a look at the car before you buy it. That way, you can be sure that you're getting a car that's ready to hit the road and provide you with years of driving enjoyment. So if you're in the market for a classic Cadillac that's got style, presence, and a whole lot of heart, this 1979 DeVille is definitely worth checking out. With its good condition, new rims and tires, and low mileage, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. So what are you waiting for? Give the seller a call and schedule a test drive today. 7. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1948 Chrysler Traveler that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary classic. It's a true unicorn that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. First of all, let's talk about just how rare this car is. The seller mentions that only a limited number of Travelers were made back in 1948, and very few still exist today. So if you're looking for a car that virtually no one else has, this could be the one you've been searching for. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But what about the condition? Is this car ready to hit the road? And the answer is, not quite. The seller openly admits that the car needs some work to finish the restoration process. But here's the thing. With all the work that's already been done and the parts that are included, you're already way ahead of the game. Let's start with the interior. The seller mentions that it's been completely professionally redone to match the original, and based on the pictures, it looks absolutely stunning. From the headliner to the carpet and door sills, everything is new and complete. And with all 4 of the hard-to-find flip-handle window cranks included, you'll have all the little details that make this car truly special. Moving on to the exterior, the seller has all of the stainless steel trim pieces, and they're in good condition. Some of them are even new old stock, which is a huge bonus for anyone looking to restore this car to its former glory. And let's not forget about the roof rack. It was specifically made just for the Travelers and town and country cars by Chris Craft, and the seller has already restored the wood to make it look brand new. Talk about attention to detail. Under the hood, the car was running well before it was brought inside for the restoration process. The seller mentions that the fluid drive transmission was shifting smoothly, which is always a good sign. And with new wiring harnesses and diagrams from Rhode Island Wiring Company included, you'll have everything you need to get this car back up and running. Of course, as with any classic car restoration project, there are some areas that will need attention. The seller mentions some rust in the floor and rocker panel near the driver's feet, as well as some patches that will need to be addressed. But with all the extra parts included from another 48 Traveler, you'll have plenty of resources to work with. And let's talk about the price for a second. At just $9,500, or best offer, this car is an absolute steal for anyone looking to take on a classic car restoration project. When you consider all the work that's already been done and the parts that are included, you're getting a huge head start on the process. So if you're ready to take on a truly unique classic car project that will turn heads wherever you go, this 1948 Chrysler Traveler is the one for you. With its rare status, stunning interior, and solid bones, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with the restoration process all over again. And with a clear title included, you can drive off into the sunset as soon as you get it back on the road. 8. Get ready to feast your eyes on this stunning 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary classic. It's a true head-turner that's sure to get you noticed wherever you go. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer coolness factor of this car? The Corvair was Chevrolet's answer to the compact car market back in the 60s, and the Monza model was the sportiest of the bunch. With its sleek lines, rear-mounted engine, and unique styling, this car is a true standout on the road. But what really sets this Corvair apart is the love and attention that's gone into it over the years. The seller mentions that they drive the car a few times per week during the spring, summer, and fall, and garage it in the winter to keep it in top shape. And based on the list of upgrades and repairs, it's clear that they've spared no expense in keeping this car running like a dream. Let's start with the drivetrain. The transmission has been completely rebuilt by Clark's Corvairs, one of the top Corvair specialists in the country. And with new drivetrain mounts, U-joints, and wheel bearings, you can be sure that this car is going to be a smooth and reliable ride. Moving on to the brakes, the seller has installed new shoes, wheel cylinders, and hardware, as well as a new master cylinder, so you can brake with confidence knowing that this car is going to stop on a dime. Under the hood, the engine has been completely rebuilt to 110 horsepower specs, and the carburetors have been gone through as well. And with a new fuel tank, sender, and pump, you won't have to worry about any fuel system issues. But it's not just the mechanical upgrades that make this car special. The interior has been given some love too, with new front seat cushions and covers, as well as new carpet. And the sound system has been upgraded as well, so you can cruise in style with your favorite tunes blasting. Of course, as with any classic car, there are a few minor issues to be aware of. The seller mentions that the heater vent cable has snapped, though they have a new one ready to install, and the shifter bulb is burned out. And sometimes the starter doesn't engage, but that's a relatively easy fix for any mechanic. But let's talk about the price for a second. At just $8,300, this Corvair is an absolute steal for anyone looking for a classic car that's been well maintained and upgraded in all the right places. When you consider all the work that's gone into this car, you're getting a ton of value for your money. So, if you're ready to turn heads and have a blast driving a true classic, this 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza is the car for you. With its unique styling, impressive list of upgrades, and solid mechanical condition, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. And with a clear title and a seller who's clearly passionate about this car, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a great deal. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a time to see this beauty in person. Trust me, once you lay eyes on this Corvair and take it for a spin, you'll be hooked. So what are you waiting for? Make this 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza yours today and start living your classic car dreams. 9. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1948 DeSoto S11 that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary classic. It's a true work of art that's been lovingly restored to perfection. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer coolness factor of this car? The DeSoto S11 was a true icon of the late 40s, with its sleek lines, suicide doors, and classic styling. And this particular example is a real standout with its stunning black paint job and all original details. But what really sets this DeSoto apart is the love and attention that's gone into the restoration process. The seller mentions that they did all the work themselves, and based on the photos, it's clear that they spared no expense in bringing this car back to its former glory. Under the hood, you'll find a flathead 6-cylinder engine that's been completely gone through and runs like a dream. And with all new wiring and a 12-volt electrical system, you won't have to worry about any pesky electrical gremlins. But it's not just the mechanical upgrades that make this car special. The interior has been completely redone as well, with new upholstery, carpeting, and all the little details that make this car feel like a true time capsule. And with those suicide doors, you'll be making a statement wherever you go. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the price? $12,500 seems like a lot for an old car, and you're not wrong. It's definitely not a small sum of money. But when you consider the amount of work and love that's gone into this car, it's actually a pretty fair price. The seller even admits that they've got more money into it than they'll ever get out. And that's not even counting the countless hours of labor they put in. But here's the thing, you're not just buying a car here. You're buying a piece of history, a true work of art that's been brought back to life by someone who clearly has a passion for classic cars. And when you consider the fact that the odometer has rolled over, meaning this car has been around the block a few times, it's even more impressive that it's in such incredible condition. So, if you're looking for a classic car that's been restored to perfection and is ready to hit the road, this 1948 DeSoto S11 is definitely worth checking out. With its stunning good looks, impressive mechanical condition, and all the little details that make it truly special, it's the kind of car that will turn heads wherever you go. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a time to see this beauty in person. Trust me, once you lay eyes on this DeSoto and take it for a spin, you'll be hooked. And with a clear title and a seller who's clearly passionate about classic cars, you can buy with confidence, knowing that you're getting a true gem. So, what are you waiting for? If you've got the means and the desire to own a piece of automotive history, this 1948 DeSoto S11 is the car for you. It's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again, and will be the centerpiece of any classic car collection. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Make this DeSoto yours today. Ors 10. We've got a real blast from the past for you. A 1983 Chrysler New Yorker that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $1,500. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A New Yorker? Isn't that just a big, boxy land yacht? And yeah, you're not entirely wrong, but hear me out because this car has got some serious potential. First of all, let's talk about the condition. The seller describes it as good, and based on the photos, I'm inclined to agree. The paint looks great, a nice deep blue that really shines. And the wheels? They're a nice upgrade from the stock hubcaps, giving this New Yorker a bit of a sporty look. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 8-cylinder engine that the seller says runs well, and with rear-wheel drive, you know this thing is going to be a blast to drive. Imagine cruising down the highway in this classic piece of American machinery, feeling the power of that V8 under your right foot. Inside, you'll find a plush leather interior that looks to be in great shape, and while the AC might not be blowing cold at the moment, that's an easy fix for any mechanic worth their salt. Plus, With power everything and a sweet stereo system, you'll be riding in comfort and style. Now, I know this car isn't perfect. The seller does mention that it needs new tires, and with around 150,000 miles on the odometer, it's certainly not a low-mileage cream puff. But that's the beauty of a car like this. It's not meant to be a garage queen. It's meant to be driven and enjoyed. And with a little bit of TLC, it could be a real head-turner on the road. And let's talk about the price for a second. At just $1,500, this New Yorker is an absolute steal. Sure, it might need a little work here and there, but you're getting a whole lot of car for your money. Parts are readily available, and with a strong aftermarket community, you'll have no trouble finding the support you need to keep this thing running strong for years to come. So if you're in the market for a classic American sedan with a ton of personality and potential, this 1983 Chrysler New Yorker is definitely worth checking out. It might not be the fastest or the flashiest car out there, but it's got a charm all its own. And with a price tag that won't break the bank, it's the perfect project car for anyone looking to dip their toes into the world of classic car ownership. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a time to see this beauty in person. Trust me, once you slide behind the wheel and feel the rumble of that V8, you'll be hooked. And with a clean title and a seller who seems to be pretty straightforward, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a solid car at a fair price. So, what are you waiting for? If you're ready to take on a classic car project that's got a ton of potential and won't break the bank, this 1983 Chrysler New Yorker is the car for you. It's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again and will be a ton of fun to tinker with and improve over time. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Make this New Yorker yours today. 11. Get ready to feast your eyes on this stunning 1967 Plymouth Fury that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary classic. It's a true time capsule that's been lovingly maintained and preserved over the years. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer beauty of this car? The bright yellow paint job is absolutely stunning, and the chrome and glass are in fantastic condition. And with that soft, original vinyl top, this Fury has a look that's just dripping with 60s cool. But it's not just the cosmetics that make this car special. The seller mentions that it's in excellent condition mechanically as well, with a smooth-running 383 V8 engine and an automatic transmission that shifts like a dream. And with just 8,600 miles on the odometer, this car has plenty of life left in it. One of the things that really sets this Fury apart is the level of care and attention that's gone into maintaining it over the years. The seller mentions that it's been kept inside since 2017, and probably for most of its existence before that. That means no nasty rust or corrosion to worry about. Just a clean, solid body that's ready to hit the road. Now I know some of you might be a little worried about that dash pad crack that's visible in some of the older photos, but fear not. The seller has had it completely redone by Just Dashes, one of the top names in the business, so you can rest assured that the interior of this car is just as nice as the exterior. And speaking of the interior, it looks to be in fantastic shape as well. The vinyl seats are still soft and supple, and all the gauges and controls are working like they should. The only minor issue is with the air conditioning. It's got a slow leak that needs to be recharged every 6 months or so. But the seller has already converted it to a newer type of refrigerant, so it's an easy fix for any mechanic. As for the title and registration, everything is up to date and in order. The car comes with a clear title and tags that are good through December 2024, and it even has both of its original plates. That's the kind of attention to detail that really sets this car apart from the rest. So, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's been lovingly maintained and preserved over the years, this 1967 Plymouth Fury is definitely worth checking out. With its stunning good looks, excellent mechanical condition, and well-documented history, It's the kind of car that will turn heads wherever you go. 12. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1981 Ford Thunderbird that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary T-Bird. It's a true time capsule that's been preserved in absolutely stunning condition. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this car has been dry stored for the past 20 years? That means no nasty rust, no water damage, no faded paint, just a pristine example of early 80s American muscle. And with just 120,000 original kilometers on the odometer, that's about 7,500 miles for us Americans, this car has plenty of life left in it. But it's not just the low mileage and excellent storage that make this T-Bird special. It's also loaded with all the best factory options for 1981. We're talking a powerful 302 V8 engine, a factory cassette player. How cool is that? Ice-cold air conditioning and power windows. This car was top of the line in its day, and it still shows. And can we talk about that color? The rich, deep brown paint job is absolutely stunning, and it's accented perfectly by those classic T-Bird lines. The car just oozes style and sophistication from every angle. Now I know some of you might be a little thrown off by those step sides that were installed by the original owner, but fear not. The seller assures us that they're easily removable if they're not your cup of tea. Personally, I think they add a unique touch to an already special car, but to each their own. As for the price, I know $13,500 might seem like a lot for a 1981 Thunderbird, but when you consider the excellent condition, the low mileage, and the fact that this car is a true survivor from an era when American muscle was king, it starts to look like a pretty darn good deal. These cars are getting harder and harder to find in this kind of shape, and the values are only going up. So if you're in the market for a classic American coupe that's been lovingly preserved and is ready to hit the road, this 1981 Ford Thunderbird is definitely worth checking out. The seller has provided plenty of recent photos to give you a good sense of the car's condition, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any additional questions you might have. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a time to come see this beauty in person. Trust me, once you lay eyes on that stunning brown paint job and hear that 302 V8 roar to life, you'll be hooked. And with a clean title and a seller who clearly knows the value of a well-preserved classic, you can buy with confidence. So, what are you waiting for? If you've been dreaming of owning a piece of American automotive history that's been preserved in time capsule condition, this 1981 Ford Thunderbird is the car for you. It's the kind of car that will turn heads at every car show and cruise night, and it's sure to bring a smile to your face every time you get behind the wheel. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Make this T-Bird yours today. 13. Do I have a treat for you today? Get ready to feast your eyes on this stunning 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza convertible that just popped up for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is no ordinary Corvair. It's a true gem that's been lovingly maintained and updated over the years. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer coolness factor of this car? The Corvair was Chevy's answer to the compact car market back in the 60s, and the Monza model was the sportiest of the bunch. And with its rear-mounted, air-cooled engine and 4-speed manual transaxle, this car is a true driver's machine. But it's not just the mechanicals that make this Corvair special. The bright yellow paint job is absolutely stunning, and while it's not the original Twilight Blue, it really makes this car pop. And with the white convertible soft top and aqua vinyl interior, it's got a classic color combo that just screams 60s cool. Now I know some of you might be a little concerned about the areas of original blue paint that are still visible in the engine bay, trunk, and under the door sills. But honestly, I think that just adds to the character of this car. It's a reminder of its history and the journey it's been on over the past 60 years. And speaking of history, this Corvair has a pretty interesting one. It spent most of its life in inland California before taking a quick trip to Montana at some point. And with just 34,000 miles on the odometer, although total mileage is unknown, it's clear that this car has been cherished and well maintained throughout its life. Of course, as with any classic car, there are a few minor issues to be aware of. The seller mentions that the driver's side door handle is loose, the windshield washer pump doesn't work, and there's a small dent in the left rear quarter panel. But honestly, those are all pretty minor issues that could be easily addressed by any enthusiast with a little bit of know-how. On the plus side, the car has recently had a ton of work done to make it road ready. The fuel pump and sending unit have been replaced, the carbs and ignition have been balanced, and it's had a fresh oil change and tune-up. The seller even mentions that it's running outstanding, which is always a good sign. And let's talk about the price for a second. At $10,900, this Corvair is priced pretty fairly for a classic convertible in this condition. Sure, it's not a numbers-matching, concours-level show car, but it's a solid driver quality example that's ready to hit the road and turn heads wherever it goes. So if you're in the market for a classic American convertible with a ton of character and a great backstory, this 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Monza is definitely worth checking out. With its cool factor, recent upgrades, and solid mechanical condition, it's the kind of car that will make you fall in love with driving all over again. But don't just take my word for it. Give the seller a call and schedule a time to see this beauty in person. Trust me, once you lay eyes on that bright yellow paint job and hear that air-cooled engine purring behind you, you'll be hooked. And with a clean title, 2 sets of keys, and some extra accessories included, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a great car at a fair price. So what are you waiting for? If you're ready to experience the unique thrill of driving a classic Corvair convertible, this 1962 Monza is the car for you. It's the kind of car that will make you stand out from the crowd and put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Make this Corvair yours today. 14. We've got a sweet deal on a classic 1968 MGB that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing. This baby is up for grabs on Craigslist for just $12,000. And let me tell you, it's a steal. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is this car really in good condition like the seller says? Well, based on the description, it seems like this MGB has been well taken care of. The seller mentions that it runs and looks great, which is always a good sign. Plus, it comes with a bunch of extra goodies that make this deal even sweeter. Not only do you get the 68 MGB, but the seller is also throwing in a 1973 MGB as a parts car or a project for you to rebuild. That means you'll have plenty of spare parts to keep your classic roadster running smoothly for years to come. And if that wasn't enough, the deal also includes 3 motors and 3 transmissions, giving you even more options for customization and repair. One of the coolest things about this 68 MGB is that it's got a 240Z 5-speed transmission installed, which is a nice upgrade from the original. The seller also mentions that there's a fresh motor and transmission on a stand, ready to be dropped in if you want to take this car to the next level. The car comes with 2 tops, one of which is described as being like new. So whether you want to cruise with the top down on a sunny day, or stay cozy with the top up on a chilly night, you've got options. Now, I want to be straight with you. The seller doesn't go into a ton of detail about the car's overall condition. They do say it runs and looks great, but there could be some minor issues that they didn't mention. That's just the reality of buying a classic car. There's always going to be some work involved to keep it in top shape. But overall, this 1968 MGB seems like a solid deal. With the extra parts car, motors, and transmissions, you're getting a lot of value for your money. And if you're handy with a wrench and love the idea of cruising around in a classic British roadster, this could be the perfect project car for you. So, if you've got $12,000 burning a hole in your pocket and a love for classic cars, head on over to Craigslist And check out this 1968 MGB. Who knows? It could be the start of a beautiful friendship between you and a piece of automotive history. 15. We're diving into a classic beauty that's up for grabs on Craigslist. A 1956 Chevrolet Belair, priced at $14,500. This iconic ride is a true head-turner, and it's waiting for a new owner to take it on a nostalgic journey down memory lane. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this Belair has to offer. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 350 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor, ensuring that this classic has plenty of get up and go. The 4-speed manual transmission puts you in control of the driving experience, allowing you to feel every bit of the car's performance. The seller mentions that the Belair has undergone some updates, including newer brakes and suspension, which is always a plus when it comes to safety and handling. The floors have also been replaced, indicating that some restoration work has been done to keep this beauty in top shape. An electric fan has been installed, helping to keep the engine cool and running smoothly. One of the most important aspects of any classic car purchase is the title status, and the seller assures us that this Belair comes with a clean title. This means you can have peace of mind knowing that there are no hidden surprises or legal issues to worry about. The odometer reading of 54,822 miles suggests that this car has been enjoyed over the years, but it still has plenty of life left in it. With 8 cylinders and a gas-powered engine, you can expect a thrilling ride every time you get behind the wheel. Overall, this 1956 Chevrolet Belair seems to be a solid choice for any classic car lover looking to add a piece of automotive history to their collection. While the price tag of $14,500 may be a significant investment, the joy and nostalgia that come with owning such an iconic vehicle are truly priceless. As with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a final decision. But based on the information provided by the seller, this Belair appears to be a promising opportunity for the right buyer. So, if you're ready to cruise down the street in style and turn heads wherever you go, this 1956 Chevrolet Belair might just be the perfect addition to your garage. Don't miss out on the chance to own a piece of American automotive history. 16. We're taking a closer look at a classic 1963 Ford Galaxie 500 that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This vintage beauty is priced at $15,000, and it's waiting for a new owner to take it on a journey through the pages of automotive history. Now, let's dive into the details provided by the seller. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 390 cubic inch engine, which promises plenty of power and performance. The car is equipped with a C4 automatic transmission, making it a breeze to drive and enjoy. The seller mentions that the Galaxie 500 runs and drives, which is always a good sign for a classic car. However, it's important to note that the odometer has rolled over, indicating that the car has traveled more than 100,000 miles. While this may seem like a lot, it's not uncommon for a well-maintained classic to have logged some serious miles over the years. One of the standout features of this particular Galaxie 500 is the presence of bucket seats and a console, which add a sporty and stylish touch to the interior. These features are highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts alike. The seller also states that the car comes with a clean title, providing peace of mind for potential buyers. This means that there are no hidden surprises or legal issues to worry about when it comes to ownership. As with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a final decision. The seller has provided a contact number for interested parties to call and arrange a viewing. While the asking price of $15,000 may seem steep for some, it's important to remember that classic cars like the Galaxie 500 are becoming increasingly rare and desirable. The opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history is truly priceless, and this car could be a solid investment for the right buyer. In conclusion, If you're in the market for a classic ride with plenty of style and character, this 1963 Ford Galaxie 500 is definitely worth considering. With its powerful engine, sporty interior, and clean title, it has a lot to offer. Don't miss out on the chance to make this vintage beauty your own. 17. We've got a real treat for you. A 1976 Chevrolet Nova that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic beauty is priced at $14,000, and it's just waiting for a new owner to take it on a thrilling ride down the street. Now, let's get into the juicy details that the seller has provided. Under the hood, you'll find an aluminum head small block engine, which the previous owner claimed to be a 383. However, it's important to note that there's no documentation to back up this claim. But don't let that deter you, because this engine has been upgraded with aftermarket head studs and roller rockers, promising some serious power and performance. The Nova is equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, giving you full control over the driving experience. The rear end features a 10-bolt differential, which is known for its strength and durability. One of the most striking aspects of this Nova is its original color, a factory bright yellow that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. The seller mentions that the car has been Z-barded, which means it has undergone a rust-proofing process. This is great news, as it indicates that the car's body is straight and clean. However, it's important to note that the paint is old, so you may want to consider a fresh coat to really make this beauty shine. As always, it's crucial to inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a final decision. The seller has mentioned that a video is available for a full description, so be sure to check that out for more details. While the asking price of $14,000 may seem steep for some, it's important to remember that classic cars like the Nova are becoming increasingly rare and desirable. The opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history is truly priceless, and this car could be a solid investment for the right buyer. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic ride with plenty of power, style, and character, this 1976 Chevrolet Nova is definitely worth considering. With its upgraded engine, manual transmission, and clean title, it has a lot to offer. Don't miss out on the chance to make this vintage beauty your own. 18. We've got a real gem for you. A 1977 Lincoln Continental Mark V Cartier Edition that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This luxurious classic is priced at $9,500, and it's just waiting for a new owner to experience its smooth, cloud-like ride. Now, let's dive into the details provided by the seller. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 7.5L 460 V8 engine, which promises plenty of power and a silky, smooth driving experience. With just 32,000 original miles on the odometer, this Continental has been sparingly used and well-maintained throughout its life. The seller mentions that this beauty is a Southern car. Brought up from Tennessee in 2020 and kept undercover, it has only been taken out as a Sunday driver in nice weather, which explains its low mileage and good condition. The exterior of this Continental is finished in a sophisticated gray paint color, which perfectly complements its classic lines and styling. While the seller admits that the car is not perfect, as evidenced by the pictures, it still presents itself as a beautiful and well cared for vehicle. One of the most impressive aspects of this Continental is its driving experience. The seller describes it as running and driving like a cloud, which is exactly what you'd expect from a top-of-the-line luxury car from the 1970s. The car also boasts good tires and has just passed the Massachusetts State Inspection, ensuring that it's ready to hit the road with its new owner. As with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a final decision. However, based on the information provided by the seller, this 1977 Lincoln Continental Mark V Cartier Edition seems to be a solid choice for anyone in the market for a classic luxury car. The asking price of $9,500 may seem steep for some, but it's important to consider the rarity and condition of this vehicle. The Cartier Edition was a top-of-the-line model, and finding one with such low mileage and good condition is becoming increasingly difficult. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic car that combines luxury, style, and a smooth driving experience, this 1977 Lincoln Continental Mark V Cartier Edition is definitely worth considering. With its powerful V8 engine, low mileage, and clean title, it has a lot to offer. Don't miss out on the opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history. 19. We've got an interesting find on Craigslist, a 1979 Oldsmobile Cutless that's up for grabs at just $4,700. This classic beauty is sure to catch the eye of any enthusiast, but there are a few things to keep in mind before you make a move. First off, let's talk about the good stuff. This Cutless is rocking a powerful 8-cylinder engine under the hood, which means you can expect plenty of get up and go when you hit the gas. The odometer reads 100,000 miles, which is pretty reasonable for a car of this age. The seller also mentions that the car has a clean title, so you won't have to worry about any legal hassles when it comes to ownership. Now, let's dive into the details that might give some buyers pause. The seller states that the car will need to be towed away, which suggests that it may not be in running condition. This could be due to a variety of factors, such as mechanical issues or a dead battery. It's important to keep in mind that getting the car up and running again may require some additional investment on top of the purchase price. The seller also mentions that they have a few other cars and don't have time to mess with this one. While this could be seen as a red flag for some buyers, it could also present an opportunity for someone who's willing to put in the work to get this Cutless back on the road. One of the most intriguing aspects of this car is its custom paint color. While the seller doesn't provide any details about the specific color or finish, a custom paint job can really make a classic car stand out from the crowd. However, it's important to keep in mind that a custom paint job may not be to everyone's taste, and it could affect the car's resale value down the line. As with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a final decision. Given the fact that this Cutless will need to be towed away, it may be worth considering the cost of transportation and any necessary repairs when determining whether this car is a good deal. In conclusion, if you're in the market for a classic car project with plenty of potential, this 1979 Oldsmobile Cutless could be a great choice. With its powerful engine, clean title, and custom paint job, it has a lot to offer for the right buyer. Just be sure to do your due diligence and factor in any additional costs before making a final decision. Who knows? With a little bit of elbow grease and some TLC, this Cutless could be the star of your collection. 20. We've got a real classic on our hands, a 1979 Chevrolet Camaro that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This bad boy is priced at $14,500, and while it may not be a show winner, it's definitely got some serious potential as a solid driver and cruiser. Let's start with the heart of this beast. Under the hood, you'll find a 350 motor with a small cam that's sure to get your adrenaline pumping. Paired with a 4-speed M22 Muncie transmission and a 308 Posei rear end, this Camaro is built for performance. The seller has also made some recent upgrades, including new tires, shocks, brakes, and carpet, ensuring that this car is ready to hit the road. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the cosmetic condition of this Camaro. The seller is upfront about the fact that this car is not going to win any shows, but it's still a solid 10-footer. The black paint job is in okay condition, with some flaws mainly on the hood and quarter panels. The interior is also in okay shape, with some tearing on the seats here and there. But let's be real, if you're looking for a car to cruise around in with the family, this Camaro is more than up to the task. One thing to note is that the car has been repainted, which is why there are no stripes. The The seller also mentions a small power steering leak and a slightly sway feeling in the steering, but these are relatively minor issues that shouldn't detract from the overall driving experience. Now here's where things get a little interesting. The seller believes that this Camaro is a genuine Z28 based on the codes and title, but they also suspect that the 4-speed transmission has been swapped in at some point. While this may not be a deal breaker for some buyers, it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're a stickler for originality. At the end of the day, this 1979 Chevrolet Camaro is a solid car that's built for driving. It may not be perfect, but it's got plenty of character and potential. If you're in the market for a classic muscle car that you can enjoy with the whole family, this Camaro is definitely worth checking out. Just be sure to do your due diligence and inspect the car thoroughly before making a final decision. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic Camaro that's ready to hit the road and turn some heads, this 1979 model might just be the one for you. With its powerful engine, recent upgrades, and honest description from the seller, it's a car that's sure to provide plenty of fun and memories for years to come. So why not take a chance and make this Camaro yours today?